Okay, we in Proverbs 16 and 4. Say the Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Most High made all things for himself. He said, even the wicked for the day of evil. So they had a purpose, you know. He tells you in Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? You see, so he made them for the day of evil. So now, you know, you want to know something. Psalms 94 and 16. Psalms 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? You want to know that. He made them for the day of evil, but he want to know who's going to rise up for him against the evildoers. See, all this didn't have to happen if we took the time and not ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everything would have been cool. That's why he said, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? See? Tell you in Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Who will rise up for the Most High against the evildoers? Wow. When you turn this Bible, it'll turn right to where you need to go. You tell me that's the Spirit. That's the Spirit. But show myself outside. Hallelujah to the Most High. Listen. Then shall the righteous man, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. That's why you see brothers right in the face of those who have not made any account of their labors. Free labor, slavery, and no reparations. Everybody else gets something, we don't get anything. But it's okay. I'm not asking for reparations because I know what the Most High said he's going to give us. Whether I get it or my people get it, somebody going to get it of the Israelites because he already said what's going to happen. He just told you, his word don't go out void. A righteous man going to stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And actually, you standing before them now. Is they hearing what I'm saying? Still standing before them in the face of what have afflicted us and made no account of our labors through social media too.
Has joined.
Oh yeah. So don't get it twisted. It's happening all over the world. When they see it, those that have afflicted us, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for. See? And they repented and groaning for language of spirit. This one's power from authority is coming on this earth to the Israelites. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirits shall say within themselves. I mean, it's the future. This is what they're going to say. This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. They had us in derision. I mean, look at our people. I have over 105 identities asking our people, what is your race? Now you get even 10 identities of these other nations and ask them all, well, who are you? See what they tell you. But with us, confusion of faces. 105? Probably be more than that if I was kept asking. I'm talking about some identities that you would never believe. They had us in derision and a proverb of reproach. A proverb of reproach, disgrace. Coons and call us niggers and and wetbacks and all kind of different names, reproachful names. Blame everything on us. We fools account of this life madness, you know? We fools account of this life madness because y'all are going up to them cemeteries, churches. And y'all been raised under the cemetery schools. That taught you just what we just read in Jeremiah 23rd chapter. Lies. I mean, come on. I got the Bible from 1826. Y'all said this is the Most High. Right here. I got to show it to you over and over again. Y'all say this is the Most High. You see right there, it say 1826. Y'all say y'all the Most High. White people say they the Most High. They the ones that killed the Most High's son. Hamashiach Yahushua. But they say we fools account of this life madness and this end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High? And his lot is among the saints. They screaming this. And we know his lot among the saints, so they thinking that they the saints. But the saints are defined in Psalms 148:14. He also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, who are we, a people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. So the saints are the children of Israel. So now, surprise, surprise, when salvation is coming to the Israelites, they're going to say, how is he numbered among the saints? Screaming. Therefore have we back in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 5 and 6 now. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. And we know the truth. I got to give it to you. Psalms 119, 142. Let's sing it together. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Okay? So therefore have we erred from the way of truth. Now how you going to follow them? This is telling you what they're going to say. When salvation is coming, when the Mashiach come to judge and make war and set up righteousness on this earth, they're going to see salvation coming to the Israelites. They're going to know who we are then. When they mess with the wrong ones, they're going to know because the Mashiach coming back. Right then. It says, how is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined unto us. And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We know righteousness, we went to Deuteronomy 6 and 25, is keeping of the commandments of the Most High. They're not keeping of the commandments of the Most High. Listen at verse 7. Take this in your membrane and retain it. We wearied ourselves in a way of wickedness and destruction. You see it right now. Wickedness and destruction. Everywhere they go, as the scripture says, there is like hell. We wearied ourselves in a way of wickedness and destruction. They're going to realize this. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. Mashiach said what? I am the way, the truth, and the light. I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is the laws of the Most High, to lead to everlasting life. St. John 14 and 6. But as they said, they have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, the Mashiach, we have not known it. You hear that? So how you going to follow someone that don't know the way of a Most High and a Mashiach Yahushua? We have not known it. That's like from this present time until the time that salvation that we're reading about that's coming to the Israelites on this earth. They're going to say, we have not known it. Right? We wearied ourselves in a way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. Now, how you going to follow somebody that don't know the way of the Most High? Look at verse 14. For the hope of the unrighteous is like dust that is blown away with the wind. Let me show you again. For the hope of the unrighteous is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passes away as the remembrance of a great, passes away as the remembrance of a guest that tarried but a day. Let you know, that's how they're gonna be thought of. They was here, but they gone. But the righteous live forevermore. The righteous gonna live forever. Their reward also is with the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom. What are we talking about? A glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Most High's hand. For with his right hand, Mashiach Yahushua, shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of an helmet. He shall take holiness for an invisible shield. You see that when we look at being righteous, remember the Most High is invisible. He's an invisible power. So when we look at being righteous, he said we're going to take on righteousness, which is holiness, for an invisible shield. You can't see it. They're not going to be able to see it, but it's there. But it's invisible. I mean, it's not seen. But when you put on this righteousness, which is keeping up the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, fearing him, crying to him, and respecting him, being scared and afraid of him, as for all the things you done heard about him, is this your God? I'm asking again, is this your God? Since you call him God. You see? Invisible shield. That's why it tells you. The angels are invisible, but it tells you in Psalm 34:7. The angel of the Most High encampeth round about them, these invisible angels, encampeth round about us, them that fear him. Hear that? Them that fear the Most High. And delivereth them. You see? It's very important that you see this. Verse 9, oh, fear the Most High, ye his saints, ye Israelites. For there is no want to them that fear him. Hear that? There's no want to them that fear him. Give him just instructions. You're not going to go nowhere where you're not going to find it. You want to know about him? You better hear what he's saying. I got to go to one of my favorites. Proverbs, the first chapter. Proverbs, the first chapter, and verse 7. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. You're a fool. Whenever you try to be instructed and you despise the wisdom and the instruction, because it tell you to get to a wise man's door, beat it down. Just be there to learn. To learn. How you think we learn all we learn? The ones that's bringing forth this truth in this day and age. By someone that taught us. And we study. And the spirit didn't stop. It might stop on some people. They caught into a warp of wherever time warp they're in, but they still bringing forth the truth. Listen. It says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom, which is the proper application of knowledge, how you apply this in your life, and instruction. You can't tell them, you can't instruct them. You can't tell them what to do. They don't want to be told what to do. That's a generational curse on our people. Can't tell them nothing. Especially when you know all that you know and this, what's going to go down and what's going down, and you see all these things happening, it's like, okay, well, you want to be in the congregation of the dead. Really. I don't know else how to put it. You're in the congregation of the dead. Verse 22, that's why he say, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? The world is simple, man. You be a simpleton, a simple-minded person. How long, you simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. That's how you know a fool. They hate knowledge. They don't be told. They don't want to get this. They don't want to get this. That's why he said, verse 24, because I have called, and ye refused, because you're rebellious. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regardeth. Now, who's this hand? Go to Psalm 17th chapter. And since we there, we can answer two things. That's one thing that I said about, because a lot of you women might have got an attitude when I say, most I say, old men he called, Tabernacle of the Most High is with men. And I said that, everyone comes from the man. Let's see what it says here in the Bible. Psalms 17 and 14. Salakia. For men which are thy hand, O Most High. Let me say, he's going to give you pass according to his mind, feed you with knowledge and understanding. For men, Jeremiah 3:15, from men which are thy hand, O Most High, from men of the world of Israel. I got to deal with that, since you would think men of the world, that could be anybody. No. Isaiah 45:17. Men of the world. You see that world is of Israel. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel, the Israelites, shall be saved in the Most High with an everlasting salvation. We just read about it. Powers and authority. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, confused, world without end. So now, going back to Psalm 17 and 14, since we know that world represents the Israelites, from men which are thy hand, O Most High, from men of the world of Israel, the Israelites, world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly, this is answering that question concerning, because a lot of people just like a woman got pregnant on her own. It says, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, men, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. So a man's stomach brings forth the seed of that man, which the woman's womb is like the earth. If you plant a seed into the ground, it's going to bring forth. If you plant an apple seed in the ground, it's going to bring forth an apple tree. You plant an orange seed in the ground amongst an apple orchard, it's going to grow an orange tree amongst the apple trees, right? Whatever seed you plant in the ground, no matter where you plant it, it's going to grow up what that seed is going to produce, that it come from. Point blank. You see? So we're running down to and you got any questions, just post them in. It's all about the Most. Is this your Most High? Is this your power? Is this your power or not? Let's go to Matthew, the 10th chapter. We'll just drop that right now. Let's go to Matthew, the 10th chapter. Matthew, the 10th chapter. And we're going to read verse 28. Matthew 10 and 28. I made this statement earlier in the lesson, but I want to read it. It says, and fear not them which kill the body. So don't be afraid of no man or nobody that can kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. See, they're not able to kill the soul. They can kill the body, but they can't kill the soul. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Fear the Most High, that's able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Ooh. Like you say, where the fires never quench and the worms never die. Fear the Most High. That's what he's telling you. Fear him. Luke 12 and 4 and 5. So a lot of y'all, y'all went to church, so y'all don't learn about fearing the Most High. They don't teach that. They teach the Most High is love and happiness, and then what I've been saying, we gonna get that if we make it to the kingdom. But you gotta understand, like I started with this lesson, I was like, how do you really think the Most High feel when he said, all you need is me? And we said, we don't want you, we want the devil. We chose death over everlasting life. We chose death over him and his son. But to this day, it's sad. So Luke 12 and 4 and 5, verse 4 and 5. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. Yeah, they can kill our body, but after that they can't do nothing else. But I will forewarn you, whom ye should fear. Fear him, which after he have killed, remember the Most High kill, make alive, have power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him. See? That's why Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Fear the Most High, y'all. Be afraid of him. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High. Be afraid of the Most High. He said, I will melt you. Myself just said, hey, fear him. He just told you to fear him. You believe in him? He just told you to fear him. I don't know why they don't read that in the church. What they wouldn't fear me? I asked twice. I remember first time I asked in the school, I said, look, what does fear the Most High mean? And I got all kind of explanations. I asked a child, I said, what does fear the Most High mean? He said, be afraid of him, be scared of him. I said, yeah, everybody thought, oh, because nobody said that. But of all these adults, nobody said it. And then I asked again. I was teaching another day, and I asked again. Everybody had all these explanations, this, that, the third, whatever. And he looking like, because he was looking kind of like, what? He was looking at him real kind of like, we already understand that it was right what he said. From all the things that you've heard concerning the Most High, you mean to tell me, you can tell me that you don't have to fear him? When he's fired from his waist up and fired from his waist down? Look, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. The first thing it says is fear the Most High. It tells you, and we read it, Hebrews 10:21, there's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work, everything we've done, into judgment, with every secret thing, the things you think that you're getting away with. Nobody see me. Oh yeah. With every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. I better hear what he's saying. That's why it behooves you to try and learn as much as you can while you can learn. Because don't think in your wildest dreams, the devil know he got a short time coming down with much wrath. Don't think in your wildest dreams that this can't happen again. Well, you better have a relationship with the Most High. First Maccabees, then the Greek Empire, when the so-called white man came into power, that's what he did. First Maccabees, first chapter, this is the book that's after Malachi, in between Matthew and Malachi. Malachi is the last prophet of the Old Testament. Then you have a blank page. Then you have Matthew. So in Malachi, you're in the Persian and Mede Empire. And the Greeks took down the Persian and Mede Empire. But when you get to Matthew, you're in the Roman Empire. But what happened to the Greek Empire? Here it is right here. They took this out. The Protestants took this out. These 14 books out of the Bible. But it's in the original King James 611 Bible. They took it out. Like I say, they tampered with different things. Yeah, it's been tampered with. But it's enough that I know that I've been through all these hours of teaching and hours and hours and hours and days of teaching for you to be able to see salvation and your name can be written in the book of life. Put nobody past the Most High. Shoot. Tell me the Most High to have his hand in it. He want everybody to be saved. No way. He want people to be docile and not be converted, that their sins be forgiven them, as it is written. But listen, this is what the Greeks did. The so-called white man did. First Maccabees 1:56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. The Bibles, they burnt them with fire. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law of the Most High, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. If you were caught with the Bible, the so-called white man who is King Antiochus Epiphanes, the Edomite, commandment was that they should put him to death. So I'm telling y'all, better get what you can get while the getting is good. And what's good? The Most High and his commandments. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities, for having the Bible. Now the 25th and 20th day of the month, they did sacrifice unto the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks. This is where these bulbs come into play during your Christmas. You had these Christmas trees and had them bulbs on them. They hanged the infants about their necks. This is in the Bible, y'all. Is this why they took it out? And rifled their houses, robbed their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them, slew the women that had circumcised the boys. Or brought them into the light. Circumcision is bringing you to the light of the truth too. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. We weren't eating anything that was not of the dietary law in Leviticus 11 chapter. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was great, very great wrath upon Israel, upon us. That's their history. Like we see it now. We've seen it and felt it in slavery. We feel it now. And what for George Floyd, they're telling what would be happening. I mean, even after George Floyd, we'd had so many of us that's been murdered. Still. That's why I say Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them. They're killing us and hold themselves not guilty. How many verdicts have we got? You seen them. It be on. Everybody got cameras now filming. You see, they running from the police. Boom, they just kill them. Whose possessors slay them, killing us, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Most High, blessed be God, for I am rich. And their own shepherds, these all pork chop preachers, eating preachers, pity them not. That's why you got something to say about y'all. You talk about y'all. Till they pity them not. Where they at? Where they at? On the forefront complaining about the murdering of our people. And the verdict is not guilty. That's why the Most High says, Zechariah 1:15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased. He said it was just but a little displeased with us. And they helped forward the affliction. That's why he gonna get them. He said they helped forward the affliction. So, and when you look at Zechariah, no, not Zechariah, but Second Esdras, go to Second Esdras, the 6th chapter, verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the time? So what's going to be the parting asunder of times? That's the time that we're living in now. He was living in now to the time. He'll tell you. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first, this world that we in now, and the beginning of it that follow, and the beginning of it, the world that's going to follow after this world that we in now? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, going all the way back to Genesis 25 and 25 and 26, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him, born of Isaac, our forefather, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, because they was fighting in the womb. For Esau is the end of the world. So that you know, Esau would have to be ruling in the end of the world. They have to be the superpower of earth at the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see? So, Esau is the end of the world. The so-called white man is Esau. They're the Edomites. They're the end of the world. They're going to be ruling at the end of the world. And Jacob, who is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, we got next forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever and ever. But we got to get ourselves right with the Most High. Or we're going to suffer the consequences of the hell fire. Being thrown in a lake of fire, where the worms never die and the fires never quenched. Or you could see the kingdom that we talk vaguely about. But look at 2 Ezra 8. And let's look at verse 48. And this also thou, even us, are marvelous before the Most High. This is what we want. Don't you want to be marvelous before the Most High? This how? In that thou hast humbled thyself. You got to humble yourself. Which is contrary to thinking you all that. Being prideful and so forth. But it don't mean you got to be in the dumps. All down and out. It don't take away from your confidence. Who you are as a person. It's just don't be all looking for prestige in this world. Don't look to be somebody in hell. We're in a condition called hell. And you're looking to be somebody in hell, you might remain in hell. And die and be thrown in the lake of fire when the judgment comes. Because you are that. That's why he said, in that thou hast humbled thyself, as it becometh thee, listen, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. Better give all praise to the Most High. You ain't wrote no scripture. I ain't wrote no scripture. So when somebody say this, that, the third about me, praise the Most High. He had holy men write this book, right as they were moved by his Holy Spirit. You see? That's why he say Ezra did not judge himself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. Check this out. The Most High gave him 204 books. We only have 80 books. He gave him 124 more books than what we have. No, I won't say I have, but mostly everybody have in the world. 124 more books. Then he gave Moses. Moses, dealt with the first 5 books and so forth. He showed him a lot of things as far as dealing with the world, but he gave Ezra 204 books. And we only have 80. That's including the Apocrypha. And people that go to church or whatever, they don't know about the Apocrypha, they only got 66. But listen, what's this marvelous in the eyes of the Most High? That he didn't think himself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries, listen at this closely, y'all, shall be done to them that in the latter times, we're in the last days, y'all, right now, shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. Great pride. Which is contrary to being humble. Most I want you to have a humble and broken and contrite spirit, y'all. That don't take away from your manhood. Come down, you got to do what you got to do. But you want to be humble. You're not even in martial arts. They tell you want to, try and be humble. Avoid the confrontation. But if you do, then you just break every bone you can, whatever. But you want to be humble. In protecting yourself, I'm talking about. Not aggressively attacking someone. Say, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, that's where I'm at, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Seek out the glory for those that's like Ezra. Because he said going to be great miseries on this earth because of great pride. So he said, seek out the men and the women that have the glory for such as be like him. For unto you, unto us, is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. You know about the tree of life, right? Tree of life has to be planted because the Most High told us we can eat of the tree of life and do what? Live forever. Why are you saying the tree of life is planted? Go back to Genesis when Eve and Adam messed up in the garden, the 3rd chapter. It had to be planted because this is what the Most High did in the beginning. Look. Genesis 3rd chapter. Salakia. And verse 22. And the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob said, behold, the man has become as one of us. Hear that? The man has become as one of us to know good and evil, because we ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life. You just read it, say the tree of life is planted, right? If he take forth his hand and take hold of the tree of life and eat and live forever. with this knowledge of good and evil, when all we needed to know was righteousness. Therefore, the Most High Power sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, kicked him out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. To till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, drove Adam out, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So we couldn't eat of the tree of life. Now that we gonna die, be on this earth and be like the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, knowing good and evil, and live forever? No. That's why we said you're gonna die. Remember, his word does not go out void. He said, the day that you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you're gonna die. But he told us you can eat of the tree of life and live forever. That's why he said, hey, we gotta put these flaming swords, put these cherubims around the tree of life. Else this cat gonna live, and this woman gonna live forever. This nation of Adamites gonna live forever. So they had to put a guard around the tree of life, put an angel around it, and flaming sword to make sure nobody could eat of the tree of life. But Mashiach said what? In St. John 14:6, I say it all the time. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High that's going to lead to everlasting life. Look, that's why you see here in 2 Ezra 8:52, for unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted. See, it had to be planted. The time to come is prepared. Remember he told us in St. John? That's why I love the scripture, because it's a puzzle. It's like you get understanding through the precepts. Go to St. John, the 14th chapter. It say, verse 1, it say, let not your heart or your mind be troubled. You believe in the Most High, he said, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, not like these mansions we have on this day and time. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. Hear that? He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. We just read, the time to come is prepared, right? He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. The time to come is prepared. He said, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. See? Because he done told them. But they didn't know. They really didn't know. But that's why they said even in Acts 1:6, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel after he died and rose on the third day, walked the earth for 40 days? They said, hey, you're going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Let you know the kingdom was coming to Israel, like we just read. Esau is the end of the world because Esau was ruling then. And Jacob was the beginning of it that followed. So in their minds, they could think, okay, well, the white man is ruling, Esau is ruling as the Romans. You're going to take them down and bring the kingdom to it, restore the kingdom to Israel? But they didn't think that we hadn't went through all the curses that's in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter from 16 to 68 as of yet. See? So, going back to 2 Ezra 8:52, for unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. Because Most High had the swords, the angels, the cherubims, and the swords to guard it, and nobody could receive it. Not since we ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. No, you ain't going to be like that and live forever. No, you're going to die. He said, the day you eat of that, you're going to die. That's why we all die to this day. And he made us so that we was in his image to live forever. And all that we have gone through from that period of time all the way to now, death, and more death, more than ever now, seem like, until we reach here. Most High will, if we worthy to reach here. He said, for unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness, that means whatever you want, gonna be plenty of it. It's made ready. It's ready. A city is builded. Let's look at a city is builded. Go to Revelation 21. Say that city is built. And 10. It say, Revelation 21 and 10, it say, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem. See, the city is built, descending out of heaven from the Most High. So it's coming down from heaven from the Most High, having the glory of the Most High. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear and crystal. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So you got 12 gates. And I'm going to explain these gates. And on the gates are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Do you know them by heart? You should. You say you're an Israelite. You should have the name off the top of your head. On the east, 3 gates, 3 tribes. On the east, have the 3 names of the Israelites, tribes, on the east gates, which is 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates, that's 6. So, on the north, 3 gates, 3 more tribes of the children of Israel on the north gates, which make up 6 gates. On the south, 3 gates, 3 more tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel on the south gate, which makes up 9 tribes. And on the west, 3 gates. So on the west going to be 3 gates, 3 more tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. See? And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. When we say go to the 12 apostles, they're going to sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So the 12 apostles of the Lamb is going to have their name on the foundations. So, and he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof and the wall thereof. Now it goes into, laying out the measurements of the city and the wall. And to tell you, verse 23 says, and the city, New Jerusalem, had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it. For the glory of the Most High did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. You see? The glory of the Most High and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved, like I tell you, a remnant of these nations are going to be saved. That's why they should be wanting to learn this truth. And not dealing with all these different religions that people have been brought into. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. You hear that? There shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth. So all abominable people, they're not going in there. Neither whatsoever work of abomination. Anybody that's not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, you ain't going to these gates. Or maketh a lie. Ain't no liars going in there. But they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Children of Israel. Straight up. That's why I look at Isaiah 60. Because I'll say that you look at the New Testament, but it's only giving you understanding of the Old Testament. Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers, these other nations, shall build up thy walls. They're going to be builders. They building all around the world, right? They know how to build, right? So he said, they preparing themselves to build up our walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee. He smote us in his wrath, the Israelites. But in my favor have I had mercy on thee. We showed you through the Spirit. Isaiah 14:1, the Most High gonna have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Listen what it says. Therefore thy gates, so we just read in Revelation 21st chapter, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. These are the nations. It said nations in Revelation, but it's still the Gentiles. These are the nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that their kings may be brought. So we're going to be the new IRS. Israelites receiving services. That's it. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Hear that? They don't want to serve us, they're going to be utterly wasted. That's what Mashiach Shai said. Look, here go your Jesus right here. Go to Luke 19:27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Once again, I'm looking at it and say, Isaiah 60:12 say, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Look, verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee, the Israelites, 1/3, mind you, the remnant of us, the city of the Most High, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, you know that's us. So that no man went through thee, where our banks, where our corporations. I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, the Most High, am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Hallelujah. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thy exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land. That's why we look at the Jewish people over there saying that they're supposed to come back to Jerusalem, to the land of Israel. As the people that's returning, they say, violence shall no more be heard in thy land. Ain't gonna be no more violence in the land of Israel. And it's much larger than what you see over there on these maps and what they have as saying represents Israel. Wasting or destruction within thy borders. Hear this? Violence shall no more be heard in thy land. No more violence. Wasting or destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light by day. Like we read in Revelations 21. Like what I say.